He's a social media expert, dude.
Is my
500 likes.
Is my fan base all out for my farts? Is that what's happening?
You've built this. This is your fault.
Hello lads, welcome back to the channel, and today I have another story to tell you guys about how I was invited to the It Is What It Is podcast run by Turbo and JackTheBus. Basically, this is what went down. Turbo sent me a DMs, one of the DMs, you know, through Twitter, and he said, "Oh, Stuart, you're so manly, you're so cool. You know, our manly podcast needs someone like you. Can you and your manliness come in here?" And I was like, you know, I am pretty manly, so yeah, let me join in. He asked me on Tuesday of last week.
It's Tuesday, innit?
And Saturday was the day I actually had to go on the podcast. So like I said, he DM'd me saying, you know, he needs a big man on the podcast. And I was like, oh yeah, I got you, man. I got you. I might be a little too manly, but I'll definitely join. And he basically told me on how it's gonna go down and what everything was gonna happen. And you know, I was actually really excited to go on. The other thing is I didn't want to try to be like nervous or awkward. And like Turbo and JackTheBus, by the way, JackTheBus, his co-host, big guy. By the way, both their channels will be linked in the description. But so basically, he also said that he'll be calling me about 10 minutes before the actual podcast goes down, just so that he can get a good time and feel. So on my time, the podcast started at 11, and it was 10:49, and you know, my man was shaking. It was like shaking up like crazy. And the only thing that was crazy than me shaking is the fact that at 10:50 he didn't call me, and then at 10:51 he didn't call me. So you know me, I'm strutting side to side thinking to myself like, did he forget? What? It's scheduled. I mean, does he not remember I'm the guest? And I started asking myself so many questions at 10:52 I was like, Jesus Christ, oh my goodness, I have no idea I have to do. And he finally calls me at 10:53, but man, I had a big exhale. You know, the sign of relief was immense. It was almost as big as the Moss situation. You know, the Moss situation. So like I said, I finally joined at 10:53, and at 10:57 we start wondering where's JackTheBus, and my man's was nowhere to be found. Turbo was trying to DM him. He called him, I think, on his phone. I'm not 100% sure about that, but he basically tried to contact him and he wasn't responding. He finally messages back in Discord that he'll be a second, right? And that's why actually the podcast is like 5 minutes late, is because in Turbo's words, let me make sure I get this right, because I don't want to mess this up, because obviously this is very important to the story. It says, and I quote, "Today we are having at the Legend 1231 to discuss exactly what it takes to be a zombies YouTuber in 2020. Also, JackTheBus is getting circumcised live on air."
You're fucking dead.
Not even I knew what was happening. I had 100 questions as well. So finally, after this 10 minutes that felt like 3 hours, I was finally ready to start the podcast. I tried to be as not awkward as possible, but that didn't work out. Hello, what's up?
Oh, and we are live! Oh, come on, Jack. 10 out of 10. Put the card up. Let me see it.
Pathetic. You only hold that note for 8 seconds? Turbo, when I come here, I mean business. You see my ID? You see that? You know what this gives me? This gives me the credentials to tell you that I want at least 15-second high notes. 8 seconds? Come on, man. I want you to double that right now.
to see that. I will do it.
I just don't believe that.
I want to introduce our guest today. The legend 1231. How you doing, man? Or known as Stuart. I just learned his name, like the little Stuart Little. How you doing, Stuart?
Not like the mouse. Like the little.
Man.
I don't think you even have a right to speak in this podcast today because you were all out last night doing crack. That's why you weren't here today. Why? Why you sucking on the metal penis for, Jack? Why?
Dude, my sleep. I'll just be up and also I don't know, dude. I don't get it anymore.
We have on a guest today, and you decided that this podcast to be drugged out and just delayed.
I'm not drugged out.
Is that what? Yelling,
I drank 2 cups of water last night.
Let's do it. Rage right there.
Sus.
That's rage. Sus. He's sus.
He's sus. Look at him. What are you looking at me for? I never said I was actually funny. Look, over on the podcast, we talked about really 3 main topics. We talked about YouTube overall and how like their monetization and different types of copyright things go down. We talked about zombies and Cold War and as if it's boring and the gameplay and the map and the whole 9 yards. And then we just talked about a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff. I honestly had a bunch of fun on the podcast. It was a great experience. Thank you, Turbo and JackTheBus. Like I said, I know I've said it a bunch, but thank you very much for inviting me. And my experience summed up in about a 30-second clip is this.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I don't know. I just don't like the map. It's gray.
Wait, you're actually using the word boring. You know what I can't wait to do? I can't wait till the world open up again so I can make some funny videos. I would love to go to E3 and walk around with a mic and be like, so you're a virgin.
I want to go.
Nay, before you get a whooping.
Let's say I may come off as a dick. I'm sorry. If you ask me to play zombies, if you still ask me to play zombies, right? Most likely.
Turbo, can you play zombies with me?
Most likely the answer is no.
Turbo, can we play zombies?
Turbo, you want to play zombies?
Turbo, let's play zombies.
I don't even play for myself.
Turbo, what's your favorite weather weapon? Turbo, what's your favorite map?
So now that I said that, if I get questions like this now, I'm gonna take it as a joke and I'm not gonna take it seriously. All right?
Zombies made you, Turbo. Zombies made you.
By the way, guys, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. We are super close. We're getting there to 600 subscribers. So if you guys could, please hit that subscribe button. Also, we are barely away from 100 followers on Twitch. And tonight, we are going to be playing Among Us with not just Turbo, but with Oscar, Webby, Prixo, and that entire gang. So make sure to go down in the first link in the description and follow the Twitch, as well as go subscribe to Turbo and JackTheBus's YouTube channels, which will also be linked there as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next.
Motherfucker, come on, hit me with a 2-time GK Kino, name it, bitch, I'll beat your new high. 3-letter lane, stealing shit just like a poo fly. Iced out bank, yeah, this webcam is from 05. Step we poppin' and just wait, do I tell you the last man